So what I'll do on this one, I usually do 3. But I'll advocate for the woman, the citizen who was crying last night on KRS TV. John, why was she crying? I added the links already when I posted. What I want you to do, it's not just one case, but the woman's crying because when her son died, he was bit by ants at some sporting event. And she finally, I guess she has questions. And it helps people to grieve when they know a loved one, when they die, everything is right. So she found out, she finally got the police report, she found out that that cop lied on that report, according to the witnesses that were on KRS News. Now, why do you think he lied? He probably, for whatever reason, was not right at that scene where he should have been. Sometimes cops, as well as firemen, you work overtime, like you're off duty and you're overtime at an event. Maybe it's one of these cases, but when you're there, he might have been on duty, I don't know. But when you're there, you got to do your job, whatever it would be, whether it's an ambulance standby or police standby. So the woman, she finally got the report after a few years, and according to her and the other witnesses, that it took them courage to be on the news last night, KRS News. They said, no, they're lying. Okay. Now, Mr. Barker, you serve the community. Your immediate response, like the Rosas case, is not, we're going to fight these people. In a Rosas case, he was shot and held in jail for 2 years. And to try to put him away, for life, 6 counts of attempted capital murder. While one of the verses I recently put up on one of the posts was Paul the Apostle in Corinthians. He said, is there not a wise man among you? He was rebuking the Christian community. Corpus Christi, the name is Body of Christ, but he was rebuking them because they were taking each other to court. And he said, isn't there a wise man among you that can simply judge these things? And he said, you're shamed that you're taking legal action when you should just discern. I saw recently on Solomon. I think I uploaded it today. But Solomon, when he discerned this situation where 2 prostitutes had children, they got pregnant and had babies. One of the women, her baby died, and she switched it out with another lady living in that brothel. So they come, I don't want to teach it again, I posted it today. But Solomon, as an effective leader, he doesn't automatically deny it and then bring the people to court. What he does is he uses wisdom. Says, okay, let's cut the baby in half. And one of the women says, no, let the child live. The other woman says, no, cut it in half. So Solomon makes the decision, his wisdom. Now, what should Markle have done, even in the lady crying on TV last night, who did no wrong? She's grieving over the death of her son, and you put out a public statement that you guys did not lie on the report, and now you multiply the lady's grief. You, sir, are a servant to that woman. Don't you understand this? You serve the community. You don't allow, whether it's false testimony, lying on a report, you don't allow all of that to go on. And then you have the goal to send out a survey. Last week, KZTV reported you send out a survey to see how the citizens respond. Well, of course, a normal survey going out, and you wouldn't release it if it was negative, but a normal survey going to the population, about 300,000 people in the city of Corpus Christi, of course, you're going to probably get a majority response. It's those who have interacted with these types of illegality. It's illegal to falsify a report. And even at the fire department, if you're caught doing that, and it's obvious in this case, according to this woman, and there goes a cop, according to this woman and according to the testimony of witnesses, you lied. It was. I don't think the officer was responsible for the death of that young man. But you lied. And that lady, the proper, is there not a wise man among you, Corpus Christi? The proper thing was, you call that officer in, you say, look, she requests a report, then you interview those other people. Obviously, that officer saying he was right there where the young kid died, and he wasn't, according to the testimony of those other people. Now, when you deny that, you impound that lady's trauma, and at the same time, you're using all the force of the badge and the department to say, they know you lied on it, about some of those details there. And now, it's like the force that of the department is now saying, lady, you're lying about the death of your son. So that's why integrity in the system is important. So this last stop, I advocate for the innocent citizen who pays your salary for you to be honest. That's what I advocate. Instead of Corpus Christi and the county deciding they're going to defend the Ten Commandments monument, which says you will not bear false witness, what we call upon you to do, sir, and the leaders of that city, is instead of defending those words on a tablet, obey those words. Instead of saying, look, Corpus Christi, body of Christ, look how we honor these commandments. No. You do disgrace unto them in these cases where it's publicly known. And over the last few years, I've talked about other cases. Hannah Overton and all made it to national media. All of the system that's still corrupt. That woman went to the DA. See, the public's recognizing. They put this new DA in by the name of Mark Gonzalez. And they put him in because many realized there was so much corruption within that prosecutor's office. Now, she sought the DA. This came out in the news. She said, can you maybe help me? Because the cops are lying about the death of my son on that report. And the media reported that Mark Gonzalez, the new DA, said, look, there's really nothing we can do. But the man in charge of that department, instead of lawyering up against Rosas or publicly saying this woman is lying, because that's what you're saying. You just tell truth. You just be honest. You don't run rogue in these particular situations. So instead of the survey, just do what's right. You should have settled with Rosas because national media widely criticized that. And any wise councilman or mayor would have known that you don't shoot a flash bomb because you're serving a warrant for a pot, marijuana, which when the kid finally was brought to court, he got probation. Is it justified, sir, to rise the level of the Rosas case where either an officer could have been killed or he could have been killed to a level of danger like that by shooting a bomb? Because that's a natural response. You get a bomb in the house, you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to think somebody's invading the house. And then you say, well, he knew they were cops. The jury said, no, he didn't. But even if he didn't know they were cops, or even if at one point when you're bombed in your bedroom and you're taking care of your elderly mother and you got a disabled person in the house, how do you think anybody would respond when a bomb goes off? Do you think they would just get up and say, oh, maybe, perchance, some law enforcement agency shot a bomb into my house because maybe one of my relatives has a low-level warrant? Who would ever respond that way? Nobody. They'd be in panic. But you caused that. That was the initial action that permitted to serve that warrant, a no-knock warrant, in doing that. So you got case after case after case. Is there not a just man among you that has wisdom that can simply say, you know what, we're going to correct this? Maybe in a few days, Mark comes out and says, we looked at it, yes, this report was not correct. We're sorry, man. Maybe there was an officer there at another location at the sports field, wherever it was. But no, he wasn't actually right where your son died. And they got it wrong on who used the defibrillator on him. Well, why should we tell the truth, John? We're gonna lawyer up, and because your job is to serve the public, okay? So this one little thing here, I advocate for the lady that was crying on TV last night for this case, which the link will go up, and she sought help from the district attorney. No, she should have simply gotten some help from the department that gets paid all this money to serve the public, okay? So that's the request for today. I'll upload this right now, and then I'll post all of them tonight. Is there not a wise man among you that can simply judge these things?